What's up, everybody? Today we're going to talk about why it is important to have a plan if you're going to be needing to get a new car eventually, even if you're keeping your car until the wheels fall off. We'll get into it right now. What's up, guys? My name is Ronnie Haskins. I am an auto broker. I've been doing this for quite a while, and today we're talking about how to make a plan and why you actually need one when you're going to be buying a car in the future. Okay, so let's talk about how this happens. You know, it happens out of necessity. Like something happens to your car and you don't have a plan and you got to get a car tomorrow. Or you get in an accident. Not your fault. Somebody hit you, and now unfortunately we got to decide what we're going to do tomorrow. The insurance companies give you 7 days once they give you a rental car and they make a settlement, but it's a very stressful situation to get into if you had no plan at all. And so if you can see, the picture I'm painting is just like investing money, right? You can invest money for the long term. You can do short-term investing if you want to buy something for yourself, or you can have long-term investing for retirement. People think about this when they're buying a house. They save up a down payment. They buy the house, they finance it for 30 years. Then the exit strategy is not there. But when you're looking at cars, it's rare that people are planning 3 to 5 years to get this done. The first thing I would do, if I've had my car for 5, 6, 7, going on 8 years, or over 8 years, is assess the value of my vehicle. This is going to have different implications if you owe money on the car or you don't. Let's take the first one. You don't owe any money, right? And so let's just see what the car is worth for a potential down payment, or let's just see where we are so that we know what the value we are sitting on is and how it's depreciating. Get your vehicle appraised. You can do that at CarMax. You can do it at Carvana. They have web tools now that you can use from your phone. That's the first number you want to write down. This is not a number we can guess. And what that means is if you go online and look at JD Power, and it says 20 grand, we still don't know that the car's worth that. We have to actually get it appraised. Once we have an appraisal, then we can look at the difference between what JD Power says and what the appraisal is. And you can come to a conclusion of, add a couple of thousand if you're thinking you're going to retail the car. And that way you just get a good idea of writing down that number is 15 grand or whatever it is. Just write it down. Now we know the value that we're sitting on in our current situation. Now, if you have a loan on that vehicle, this number that we just achieved and just wrote down is important, because this next thing we're going to do is compare the value to what we actually owe on the car. So let's say you owe 12 grand and we think the car's worth 15. We're in a 3 grand positive situation, which is a great place to be. Nothing to worry about. Now we can just write these things down. I owe this much. My value is 15. It's surprising, guys, but most people don't know what they owe on their cars, especially if you've had like a 5 or 6 year loan and you've been in the vehicle for 3 years. It's just a guess of what you owe. It's easy to find out. Log into your account, call the bank. You're going to need your account number, maybe your birth date, social security number. Just find out what your payoff is today. That way we can compare to the value and give yourself a financial position on your current vehicle. Now, once we have these numbers, we've just written them down and we're putting a pin in them, because this gives us a financial snapshot of what we're doing with our current vehicle, right? And the next thing we're going to do is write down the list of things that we like about our current car and what we would like to transfer over to the new car. So if you like having a backup camera and a 12-inch screen and you have to get a new car tomorrow, would you like to continue to have a 12-inch screen, heated seats, cooling seats? Does it need to tow over 5,000 pounds? This is when things start to change in your life. Maybe you used to have a vehicle that you had to tow 5,000 pounds with or more. And now, if your car dies in the next year, you don't really need that anymore. You stopped camping 2 years ago. You don't pull a boat anymore. Maybe you're just driving this car because it's comfortable and you haven't had to think about it. But let's just make a list of things that we actually have to have on the new car. And this is why I think people don't do this. Because if you're looking at what it's going to cost to replace, You can go on the internet and look at what like a Hyundai Palisade cost, or what a Honda Pilot cost, or whatever vehicle you're looking at, and you just don't like the numbers. Like it might say $800 a month, or it might say $50,000. And at that point, what we do is we just black it out, because we didn't pay that much for our current car that we've been in for 8 years. We paid a lot less. Times have changed and inflation has happened. So we just like to put it out of our mind and not think about it. And I hope you're picking up on this, because this is where the problem is. It's going to happen at some point randomly, and we're going to have to fix it. And it would be nice if we can fix it without the stress. So after you get your list, we can start to evaluate what vehicles cost. Go on the internet, look at what vehicles cost, go build them on the different websites. You can call an auto broker like me. You can do a lot of different things to figure out what you're going to have to spend if you need to replace your car, because you've got your list of items you have to have, if you're towing or not, how many seats you need. All of these things you can write down. You can even splurge. Like maybe I want to upgrade a little bit. Okay, great, do that. And then we can just go look at it and take a look and see how much this is going to run us if we have to do it tomorrow. So for your cash buyers, it's very easy. If we find out it's $50,000 and your tax rate's 8%, it's about $4,000 in taxes. So you're going to need about 54 grand in cash in order to replace your vehicle, get all the things on your list, and keep on moving. All right? So now we know that. For the people who are going to do loans or leasing, we need to know what type of a payment is available for us. You're going to need to go find a calculator that you can use to calculate what this lease would be or what this payment would be on a 50 grand car. Or you can call a broker or someone who knows how to do this stuff, and they can tell you exactly what the payments might be. So now we've got 3 things. We've identified what our vehicle's worth, what we owe compared to what it's worth, what it's going to cost to pay cash for another car, what the payments could be if I needed to get a car tomorrow. And we need to actually look in the mirror at this point. What does it make us feel like? Do we like the way these numbers look? Because if you don't do this, then you start to rationalize. Now we need to assess the actual reliability of our current car. And it's time to look at what potential maintenance things we could be paying for if something goes wrong. And we need to make a list of those items. I'm talking about transmission, engine, drivetrain, things that really knock you out of the game if these things break on your vehicle. And why do we want to do that? Because if you want to keep this car until the wheels fall off, then we've got to keep it running. So it's okay to get that pin back out, talk to your mechanic, and find out what's the worst thing that could happen to your vehicle if engine, transmission, drivetrain gives you issues where you're going to get knocked out of the game. He might say $7,000 for a motor. He might say $3,500 for a transmission. Remember, nobody's saying you got to spend this money today. But we should write it down and see what our emergency funds look like compared to what these costs could potentially be. I do this all the time on my own cars because I don't want to get surprised when it happens. It's much easier when I know. And then something happens and I'm like, yep, that's going to be $3,500. I know where we're at. If we can get it done cheaper, that's great. But if not, I was ready for it. So you've done all of this stuff to prepare yourself now. You've got your maintenance package. You've got your values. You've got what it's going to cost to replace the car. The next step, start saving money. And look, this is the cool part, right? Most people don't look at this. Most of us, we don't look at this because we don't want to have to start making these payments for another car when my car's running fine. Great. Eventually that's going to end. Let's make an account in your bank and just start funding that account with what we think the new payments are going to be. Or if we're going to try to pay cash, then we need to start diverting money there so that we can be ready. If you can stretch this out a long time and you're happy with the car you're in, there is nothing wrong with that. You don't need to be leasing or having a loan. Just go ahead and start funding this account. It's just like lifting weights. When you're doing this, you're getting used to paying this money. So that way when it happens, you don't have a problem. The last thing you can do right now is, let's say your car's approaching 8 years old. You've looked at all these numbers and now you're assessing what it's going to cost to replace it. And there's still some value in your car and you want to use that value before it's gone, is you could act now. You could take that value, use it as down payment money, or you could do a 0 down lease with a payment that you can afford, and keep that money and put it into your next fund for your next transition. These are all things that help you plan this stuff so that when it happens, you're not surprised. That's all we wanted to talk about in this video. So if you find yourself in a car that's 8 years old or older or approaching that age, please take a look at this stuff. If you need me, you can reach out to me directly. I'm always happy to help. I'm Ronnie Haskins. Have a great day.